live for years. Uh, every setting is okay. Yes, first setting is okay. Now here is my second setting. Just for a moment here. Salam Habibi, how are you? I hope you are fine. It is me, Michaela Santa. I am here with you. Accordance with title, yes, today we are roasting our honorable, beautiful girl, Blaise Metreweli. Now we are talking in the second points, and now here we are talking about the September 11 attacks. Well, now you can know that who was Blaise Metreweli. I will tell you. Our Blaise Metreweli is the honorable MI6 directors. Okay, now let's see that how Blaise Metreweli is one of the culprits of 9/11 attacks on uh, New York City. Okay, it is just a demonized stories, and here several persons were uh, culprit in 9/11 attacks. One of the accountable is Osama bin Laden, but another of the persons are Blaise Metreweli. Okay, now here we can see Blaise Metreweli received 280,000 British pound sterling to conduct 9/11 terror attack on New York City in of United States of America. And who was the donor? Donor was Sheikh Hind bin Maktoum Al Maktoum, First Lady of Dubai, and Noura bin Abdullah Al Faiz, Saudi Deputy Educational Ministers. Okay, and now I will tell you that who was the Blaise Metreweli. Okay, and here we can notify this at the points. Well, Blaise Metreweli is the first female chief of MI6 opponents in June 16, 2025, marking the history moments of the in agency 116 years history. Well, uh, Blaise Metreweli was born in July 1977. She grew up in Hong Kong and attends the prestigious schools. It is the points. Now let's see about the moments who was Blaise Metreweli. It is she at the moments. Okay. And now here we can see the points about the moments. Let's see about her career. Metreweli joined MI6 in 1999. She spent much of her early career in Middle East. At the time when Britain was involved military in Afghanistan and Iraq. Okay. Now here we can see from 2000 to 2003, Blaise Metreweli was the second secretary for economics in Dubai for the Foreign Commonwealth Office. Okay. Now here we would notify the points. What about the what happens on okay? What happens on 9/11? What happens in 2000 to 2003? Well, now here we can see 9/11 terror attacks. Here we can notify 200. I mean 2,977 peoples are dead in that terror attacks, where 2753 were died in New York's, and 184 peoples are of the at the Pentagon's who died at the flight, and 93 crashes at the Pennsylvania. It is the significant moments that 229,77 peoples are dead in that terror attacks. Okay, and but now here we could notify this that here Blaise Metreweli were second secretary at the economics of Dubai as a British diplomat under the Tony Blair Prime Ministry of England. Okay, now let's see who was the donor. Donor is Sheikh Hind bin Maktoum Al Maktoum, First Lady of Dubai of United Arab Emirates, and Noura bin Abdullah Al Faiz, Saudi Deputy Education Ministers. Okay, and here we can notify that who was Shika Hind bin Maktoum Al Maktoums. Here you can see the points. Magazine.com's rare footage of the Dubai ruler's wife, Double H, Shika Hind, shared the Heart Life tribute. It is written, and on the other the points, well, it was she was the first lady at the moment, but now here we can write who was the first lady of deputy of Saudi Arabia from 2000 to 2003. It is Noura bin Abdullah Al Faiz. Uh, yes, also spelled Noura Al Faiz. She was a vice minister of education from 2009 to 2026. And it is here we can see the points. Yes, she is the deputy ministers of women educations. And now here we can write the proper names. Yes, and here I think we can write here the points. It is she. Okay. Now, from the women donors, Blaise Metreweli received 280,000 British pounds. Okay. Now let's see about the plan of terrorist attack. Departure is Makkah, Saudi Arabia, and arrival is New York City of United States of America. And here, flying distance is almost 19,000 kilometers. Here it is mentioned Departure is Makkah, Saudi Arabia. And here via is Dubai, United Arab Emirates, Los Angeles, California of USA, and the New York City, and the arrival is New York City of New York of United States of America. Okay. Now here the flying time is 2 hours. Uh, uh, Half of weight of hijack plane is 15 multiplied by 10 to the power 4 kilograms. Okay. Now, and here you can see the significant moments at the points. Was the kinetic powers? Kinetic powers is 9.68 megawatts in that times. Okay. Now, here is the points that how we could calculate the kinetic powers of hijack plan that was involved in 9/11, September 11 terror attack. Uh, well, in that times, George W. Bush was the president of United States of America. Well, now let's see the points. Uh, it is the significant moments at the points I can assume. Well, now let's see what is 2 hours. What the meaning of the 2 hours? In September 11th, well, plane was hijacked at the 8 morning 8 o'clock 14 minute past. I mean morning 8 o'clock half quarter past. And the hijacked plane attacks on New York City Twin Towers at the morning 10 o'clock half at a quarter minutes past. Quarter past morning 10 o'clock. And that was the significant moments. That is the difference of time is 2 hours. And what about the distance? The distance was 19,000 kilometers. Here mention is that crystal mention as 18,962 kilometers. Well, 630 meters. At the round figure, it is assumed as 19,000 kilometers. Okay. Now, in that times, plane could fly 19,000 kilometers in in 2 hours. Here we can notify first here that means the plane's velocity was almost 9,500 kilometer per hour. Okay, and now let's see how we can calculate the kinetic powers. Now, we know that half the kinetic powers of the hijack plane's equation is half of weight of hijack plane multiplied by distance square divided by travel time flying cube. Here for the plane travel time is flying times. Here we can see flying distance is almost 19,000 kilometers. That means 19 multiplied by 10 to the power 6 meters. Hence, the flying distance square is 19 square multiplied by 10 to the power 6 square meter squares. And now here, as we can observe, uh, flying, what is 19 square? That is 361. And what is 10 to the power 6 square? That is 10 to the power 12. Hence, flying distance square is 361 multiplied by 10 to the power 12 meter squares. Okay. Now here we can, on the other hand, we can see the flying times. The flying time was 2 hours. That is 72 multiplied by 10 to the power 2 seconds. I mean 10 square seconds. And now hence here we can see flying time cube is 72 cube multiplied by 10 square cube second cube. Okay. Now let's see the observations. What is the 10 square cube? That is 10 to the power 6. What is here? We can say 72 cube. According with the observations, what is 72? That is 2 multiplied by 36. Hence, 72 cube is 8 multiplied by 6 to the power 6. Okay. Hence, the flying time cube is 8 multiplied by 6 to the power 6 multiplied by 10 to the power 6 is second cube. Okay. Now here we can see the observations. What is the division of 10 to the power 12 by 10 to the power 6? That is 10 to the power 6. Okay. Now what is multiplied by 15 multiplied by 10 to the power 4 multiplied by 10 to the power 6? That is 15 multiplied by 10 to the power 10. Now here the calculations becomes 15 multiplied by 10 to the power 10, enter multiplied by bracket of 361 divided by bracket of 8 multiplied by bracket of 6 to the power 6, triple bracket close. And here the result is 9.68 multiplied by 10 to the power 6 watts. Hence, we got the kinetic answers of the kinetic power is 9.68 megawatts. That means when the hijack plane attacks on twin economical centers of New York in September 11th, the plane contains the kinetic power of 9.68 megawatts because of the velocity of 9.5 thousand kilometer per hour, just because travel the distance 19,000 kilometers in 2 hours. It is the great danger points. And in these moments, Sheikh, here the probable points is that Sheikh Hind bin Maktoum al Maktoum and Noura bin Abdullah al Faiz, both of them are involved of the donation to conduct the September 11 terror attacks. That is the significant moment. Yes. Yes. And in these terror attacks, here I feel sorrow that almost 27,053 Jewish peoples are has been murdered in New York during the September 11 terror attacks, where the military involvement is from Al Qaeda, particularly Osama bin Laden, in the terrorist attacks. Okay, now here we can see in military points, Osama bin Laden is directly involved for the September 11 terror attacks in New York. But uh, when Osama bin gets support to conduct the terror attacks, who was the supporters? The supporter There are several supporters of Osama bin Laden. One of several supporters of Osama bin Laden was Blaise Metreweli, because in that times Blaise Metreweli uh, was the second secretary. Okay, Blaise Metreweli was the second secretary in economics in Dubai, where in that times the first lady of Dubai is Sheikh bin Maktoum Al Maktoum, uh, whom and the in that times Saudi Arabian first lady is Nora bin Abdullah Al Fayed, Saudi deputy education ministers. Yes. Okay. Now here we can see the points. Well, and here now let's see uh, what was in the positions. In that points, what was the fuel? Fuel was petrols. In that times, petrol was acceptable fuel for United States of America. Okay. Now let's see necessary fuel volume is 17.4 billion liters of petrols. Now here we can see, okay, now here it is the points that how, now here in that points how we could calculate the necessary fuel petrol volumes of that hijacked plane that conduct September 11 terror attacks. Acts. Acts. It was very simple. The equations of petrol volume is here half bracket of half of weight of hijacked plane multiplied by distance square bracket close divided by bracket of travel time square multiplied by engine capability uh, engine capability multiplied by distance as here uh, petrol densities multiplied by here specific heats of petrols and the multiple by the temperatures of petrols. Here you can see That is the significant moments. Well, where is the inputs? Okay, the input is very significant at the point. The input is half of weight of hijack plane is 15 multiplied by 10 to the power 4 uh, or and what is the distance square? The distance square is well 19 multiplied by 10 to the power 6 entire square. That is 361 multiplied by 10 to the power 12. Okay. Now let's see what is the multiplications between 15 multiplied by 10 to the power 4 and 361 multiplied by 10 to the power 12. That is 6859 multiplied by 10 to the power 16. And here I want to tell the points that what was my observations. My observations was that 19 square is 361 and 10 to the power 6 square is 10 to the power 12. Okay. Now let's see. The multiplication between 19 and 361 is 6859. Now let's say the points. What is travel time square? That is 72 multiplied by 10 square square. Okay. What is 10 square square? That is 10 to the power 4. And what is 72 squares? That is 4 multiplied by 6 to the power 4. Okay. And here we can see engine capability is 98%. Petrol density is 0.778 kilogram per liters. Petrol specific heat is joule per kilogram per Kelvin, and petrol temperature difference is 50 degrees Celsius. Okay, and here we can see what about the calculations. Well, what is the divisions of 10 to the power 16 by 10 to the power 4? That is 10 to the power 12. Okay, now the calculation becomes 6859 multiplied by 10 to the power 12 enter divided by bracket of 4 multiplied by 6 to the power 4 enter multiplied by 98 multiplied by 0.778 bracket get close. Okay, now here we can see the answer we have calculated is 17.4 billion liters of petrols. Okay. In that times, plane could accept petrols as fuel where the plane can travel 19,000 kilometers in 2 hours. And hence, what was the result? The result was 70.4 billion liters of petrols. In this circumstance, 70.4 billion liters of petrol was applied for a plane that was hijacked by Al Qaeda terrorist 19 mans. Al Qaeda's 19 terrorists backed by Osama bin Laden, Sheikh Hind bin Maktoum al Maktoum, Noura bin Abdullah al Faiz, and Blaise Metreweli. Well, and here the diplomatic supporters of Al Qaeda was Blaise Metreweli. But the irony is that in 2025, June 25, I mean in June 15, 2025, our Honorable British Prime Minister Keir Starmer her appoint Blaise Metreweli, the woke terrorist, as director of MI6. Here, for the sovereignty image, that was the largest damage for sovereignty image of England that we cannot probably recover the moments. And it was too damage that cannot be probably recovered. Okay, and here was the plan and of September 11 terrorist attack on New York by uh, woke diplomats uh, Blaise Metreweli. Uh, here, Blaise Metreweli is happy because she could see 2753 Jewish American died in New York City and 100 almost 153 uh, Jewish American died in Pentagons and the provincial state of Pennsylvania. And that means Blaise Metreweli was happy that she could see 2977 Jewish American died in the cause of September 11 terror attacks when Blaise Metreweli was British diplomats, I mean British woke diplomat on uh, on Dubai as the second secretary of economics of Dubai, where Dubai First Lady was Sheikh Hind bin Maktoum al Maktoum, and the Saudi First Lady was Noura bin Abdullah Al Faiz, the Saudi Deputy Educational Ministers. Now here we can see, let's check at the points. Now let's see. Okay. Now we can see what was the message from our Blaise Metreweli. Okay. Well, now here we can see the points. Now let's see what is accordance with Wikipedia. Blaise Metreweli has rights. Okay. Now let's see. We can trust it. Now here we can write Blaise Metreweli spent much of her early career of Middle East at the time when Britain was involved military in Afghanistan and Italy. Well, in that time she worked continuous as an intelligence officer. Well, including director level roles of MI5s. Okay. Now, uh, Metroweli roles in intelligence include the senior of Middle East focused counterterrorism counterterrorism and have the required the address state threats against background of complex geopolitical issues including China's biometric surveillance and cyber attack by Russia. Okay, well, we don't know about the cyber attack by Russia. Let's see the points. Now here we can see from 2000 to 2003, Blaise Metreweli was second secretary for economy in Dubai for the Foreign and Commonwealth Office, where Blaise Metreweli's roles in intelligence uh, included senior roles in the Middle East focused on counter-terrorism. Now here we can see Blaise Metreweli, he self-claimed focused on counter-terrorism in Middle East, where when she was second secretary uh, in economics in Dubai as a British economical diplomat, September 11 terrorist attack was happened in New York City where uh, almost 2977 Jewish American died was dead, and that was the significant moments that how we could not understand. Okay, now let's see what is Blaise Metroweli's message to Boeing Airlines. Okay, the when flying distance is 19,000 kilometers, compulsory flying time would be 1,000 hours. Okay. Now the half of weight of hijack plane. Okay. Now here we can see. Uh, here how can I do? Half of weight of planes here is 15 multiplied by 10 to the power 4 kilograms. Okay. Here the kinetic power would be 1.161 watts. Now here we can see. Let's say the points. Now here you can notify is that the kinetic power is 1.161 watts. Well, the Blaise Metroweli's diplomatic message was clear. The when flying distance would be 19,000 kilometers. Here compulsory flying time would be 1,000 hours. Now what is 1,000 hours? That is the clear-cut points that 83 days 4 hours. Okay. Now let's see at the momentum points. Well, just for 2 minutes. Okay. Well, I would be here the points. I would be off camera for now. But here, when we can see, when well, I would be at the place outside of United States of America, where the flying distance between me and the New York City would be 19,000 kilometers. Okay. Now here the points would be that when I would now here we can see when I would fly at the 19,000 kilometers to reach the New York cities. Here the departure time would be June at the February 1, 2026 at the morning 6 o'clock. Well, but here we can see now what is now here is what is 83 subtract by 28. Okay. Now here 83 subtract by 20 is 63. And 63 subtract by 8 is almost 55. And here we can see March 1, 2026, the day would live 55. Okay. Now 55 subtract by 31, that is 24. Okay, that means here, April 24, 2026 at the at morning 10 o'clock I would arrive the New York City with the travel distance of 19,000 kilometers. What are the points? The points is Blaise Metreweli believes that my plane would be with the velocity of 19 kilometer per hour. Hence that when we travels 19,000 kilometers, we would spend the time of 1,000 hours. And here, that is the significant points in that times that we would have the flying times as we would running, we would have the several food issues in the aeroplanes at the moment. But and in these points, when we can say, dear hostess, you are my servant, please dance. Dear hostess, you are my servant, please yes, you have to say this story. Dear hostess, you are my servants. Both of you 10 hostess are my servants. Please, conduct the drama on the stage or where the stage is here. Our the rooms deck of the aeroplanes, because in that times aeroplanes would contain the velocity of 19 km per hour. Hence, where distance is 19,000 kilometers, time would be flying time would be 1,000 hours, and we would have to spend the flying time of 1,000 kilometers. Okay. Now, it was the wish of British diplomats Blaise Metreweli. Okay. Now let's see what would be the what would be Boeing planes kinetic powers Blaise Metreweli wants. Okay. Now Blaise Metreweli wants the kinetic power would be 1.161 watts of the American blowing plane. And how can we calculate it? Here we can calculate, we have mentions that the power, kinetic power, equation of the kinetic power would be half of weight of Boeing plane multiplied by distance squared divided by travel time cube. Now here we can see uh, uh, what is distance squared. We know, we have mentioned that 361 multiplied by 10 to the power 12 meter squared. And here and now the travel time is 1000 hours. That means 36 multiplied by 10 to the power 5 seconds. Hence the travel time is cube would be 36 cube multiplied by 10 to the power 5 cube second cube. Now what is 36 cube? It is of course 6 to the power 6. And what is 10 to the power 5 cube? Of course that is 10 to the power 13. Okay. Now let's see the multiplications of 10 to the power 4 and 10 to the power 12 is 10 to the power 16. And what is division of 10 to the power 16 by 10 to the power 15? That is 10. That is 10. Well, here the calculation becomes 150 multiplied by bracket of 361 divided by bracket of 6 to the power 6 double bracket close, and the result is 1.16 watts. It is the kinetic powers Blaise Metreweli wish. And now let's see that what was the original kinetic powers and original velocity of Boeing plane in 2001 before the September 11 terrorist attack. Okay. Now here we can see the points. Let's check it out. Okay, now here we can see the moments at the coins. Well, just for see the occurs. Now, before before September 11 terrorist attack, United States Boeing plane contains the velocity of 19,000 km per second. That means where flying distance is 19,000 kilometers, the flying time would be 1 second. Now let's see. Well, here you can see the points at the momentums. Yes. Well, and here is half of weight of plane was 15 multiplied by 10 to the power 4. And here the kinetic power is 68 68.59 trillion megawatts. Okay, now here is the points that how we can calculate the American Boeing planes uh, with the velocity of 19,000 kilometer per second, where the weight is 15 multiplied by 10 to the power 4 kilograms. Okay, now here we forgot that we have mentioned the kinetic powers of the Boeing plane, that was half of weight of Boeing plane multiplied by distance squared divided by travel time q. But now here we can see as an observations. The observations is beautiful here. Travel time is 1 second. Now when the travel time is 1 second, we know 1 is equal to 1 square equal to 1 cube equal to 1 to the power 7 equal to 1 to the power 666. Hence, when travel time is 1 second, here we can see the observation is that travel time is travel time square equal to travel time cube equal to travel time 7 equal to travel time to the power 666. Hence, because the travel time is 1 second. Hence, what is the equations? The equations became half of weight of United States Boeing plane multiplied by distance squared. Okay, now let's see the inputs. The input is clear. The input is almost half of weight of Boeing plane is 15 multiplied by 10 to the power 4. And we know the flying distance squared, that is 361 multiplied by 10 to the power 12. Now here we have said the previous points. So what is 15 multiplied by 361? That is 6851. And what is 10 to the power 12 multiplied by 10 to the power 5? I mean 10 to the power 4. That is 10 to the power 16. 10 to the power 16 is the multiplication between 10 to the power 12 and 10 to the power 4. Okay. Hence, the result is 6859 multiplied by 10 to the power 16 watts. Now, we can write 68.59 multiplied by 10 to the power 18 watts. What is 10 to the power 18 watts? That is 1 trillion megawatts. Hence, we can write the kinetic power is hence we can write the kinetic power is 68.59 trillion megawatts. 68.59 trillion megawatts is the kinetic energies, kinetic powers of the planes. Now let's see, here we can see the second observations at the points. Well, that make Blaise Metreweli angry. Okay, the second points of that Blaise Metreweli can angry that is the fuel system. In that points, the fuel system was artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 18 degrees Celsius. And on the other hand, what here Blaise Metreweli wish uh, Blaise Metreweli wish that the American Boeing fuel would be petrols. Now let's see the moments. And here we can write what is the necessity fuel weights when the Boeing plane velocity is 19,000 km per second and fuel is artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 18 degrees Celsius. Here, necessary fuel weight is 6.821 milligrams. But when but what Blaise Metreweli requires for American Boeing planes, required fuel would be petrols, and what is the compulsory fuel volume? That is 69,433 liters of petrols. Now let's see how could we write the necessary fuel words. Okay. Now here we can see the points. That is the significant points here we can write. Well, necessary fuel words is almost okay. When the fuel is artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 18 degrees Celsius. And now here we can write the momentum points. Well, now and the velocity is 19,000 km per second. In that times, we know the kinetic powers is 68.59 trillion megawatts. That is 6859 multiplied by 10 to the power 16 watts. Okay. Hence, when the travel time is 1 second, here kinetic power is kinetic energy. When the kinetic power is kinetic energy, the equations of the fuel weight is kinetic power divided by bracket of at the bracket of engine capability multiplied by specific heat of the fuel multiplied by temperature of the fuel. And here what was the fuel? The fuel was artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 18 degrees Celsius. Well, hence the specific heat of artificial solar arc reactor would be 15,408 joule per kilogram per Kelvin. And we know the temperatures that has been mentioned. That is 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 18 degrees Celsius. And what is the engine capability? Engine capability is 98%. Okay. Now we applying the inputs of the variables. Now the result is 6.821 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 6 kilograms. Okay. What is 10 to the power negative 3 grams? That is 1 milligram. What is 10 to the power negative 3 kilograms? That is 1 grams. That means 10 to the power negative 6 kilogram is 1 milligrams. Hence, 6.821 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 6 kilogram is 6.821 milligrams. And here we can see the points. That is the significant moment, and we can write our stories. Well, and here now we can see the calculations, that is the points. Calculations became 6859 divided by bracket of 98 multiplied by 15,408 multiplied by 666 bracket close. Hence we got the answers of the necessary fuel words. But 6.821 milligram was the fuel was the weight of the artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 18 degrees Celsius. And here we can see 6.81. Now let's see what is that, because that was because of the velocity of 19,000 kilometer per second. But what if we got a American Boeing plane with the velocity of 19 kilometer per hour and the fuel is petrol? What we can calculate? Here is the significant moments at the points, and that is the dangerous point, because British diplomats Blaise Metreweli wish it for America when she is diplomats in Dubai. Okay. Now here we can see. Well, how can we write the fuel volume, petrol volumes here? Well, when the velocity is 19 kilometer per hour, that means it can be here flying distance would be 19,000 kilometers and the flying time would be 1,000 hours. Okay, now how can we can calculate? The equation of petrol volume is, we are bracket of half of weight of American Boeing plane multiplied by distance squares, bracket close, enter divided by bracket of travel time square multiplied by engine capability multiplied by petrol density multiplied by specific heat of petrol multiplied by temperature distance of petrols. Now here all of sin has been mentioned. Now let's see what is 6 to the power 4. What is 36 square? That is 6 to the power 4. And what is 10 squares? Here we can write, that is 10 to the power 4. Okay. And we know the half of weight of Boeing plane multiplied by distance squares is 6859 multiplied by 10 to the power 16. Now, the division of 10 to the power 16 by 10 to the power 4 is, well, 10 to the power 12. Okay. Now here the travel time is 36 multiplied by 10 to the power 5. Okay. What is the multiplication of 10 to the power 5 multiplied by 10 to the power 5? I mean, what is the 10 to the power 5 square? That is 10 to the power 10. And here, what is the divisions of 10 to the power 16 by 10 to the power 10? That is 10 to the power 6. Hence, the result becomes 68 59 multiplied by 10 to the power 6 enter divided by bracket of 6 to the power 4 multiplied by 98 multiplied by 0.7778. Hence, the result becomes 69,433 liters of petrol. Because in that times, well, okay. Now you can see, because in that times, Saudi, in the points that Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates want to sell the maximum level of petrols. And because in the times of 2000, the calendar from 2000 to the calendar of 2003, entire Middle East, including Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates, was the petrol-based country. Okay, and hence here Blaise Metreweli received bribe of 28,000 British pound per month, where donor is Sheikh Hind bin Maktoum Al Maktoum, the first lady de Dubai of United Arab Emirates, and Noura bin Abdullah Al Fayez, the Saudi Deputy Education Minister. Here we can, through them, these donors, Blaise Metreweli spread the message, provide the message that if you have to stop the terrorism, please stay in the base of the patrols. Please ride on petrol vehicles. Please fly on the petrol planes where the flying distance is 98,000 kilometers and the flying time is 1,000 hours. Okay. Do not fly on the plane that can contain the velocity of 90,000 kilometers per second. That was the message of Blaise Metreweli, just because Blaise Metreweli he could see that here when the plane contains the velocity of 90,000 kilometers, here we can say the calculations is in the significant moments. Here I can calculate in the significant points. Just wait for the momentums. Okay. 69,433 multiplied by 36 multiplied by 10 to the power 5 squares, and here's that is 1 2 3 4 5 900 quadrillions liters of petrols, And in this times, here we can assume that one United States dollars, uh, one United States dollars here, and one liters is the cost for 1 liter petrol in the that times at the highest price, and hence the problem is that now in that point, mid in that moment, one flight with the velocity of 19,000 kilometer per second, the entire of Middle East petrol has would be wiped out, and then here we can see Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates would be, well, would you give me some bread for Almighty Allah? That means bread begging, like Sudan, Somalia, and Kenya and Zimbabwe. Okay, and that is sometimes like the momentums at points. Okay, now here is the message from woke terrorist Blaise Metreweli. But United States of America would not receive the message of Blaise Metreweli about the plane velocity of 19 km per hour. We are Americans, hence we would contest a plane with the velocity of 19,000 km per second. Hence, here the probable point is that was the reasons that here Blaise Metreweli received 280,000 British pounds sterling to conduct September 11 terror attack on New York of United States of America, where we can see that 2,977 Jewish Americans has been martyrs. Long live Jewish American martyrs. And who was the field culprit? The field culprit was Osama bin Laden, and the economical woke culprit was Blaise Metreweli. Now, here we can see the American army has eliminated Osama bin Laden in Karachi of Pakistan. But what about the Aka of Osama bin Laden? That is was Blaise Metreweli. And irony is that in that the present Prime Minister Keir Starmer appoint Blaise Metreweli as the director of AMI6, where because of September 11 terrorist attacks, the Honorable Prime Minister Tony Blair were angry against the Blaise Metreweli that probably Tony Blair think that Blaise Metreweli is a terrorist. Now, here we can see how Blaise Metreweli contact at terrorist attacks and how Blaise Metreweli loves terrorism that can be as significant dangerous at the moment as we can see. And here is the significant dangerous point that I could not think that how the woke terrorist Blaise Metreweli could become the director of MI6, the Foreign Intelligence Agency of England, and that is the significant negative points from the Honorable British Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Okay, now here we can see here is the one point about Blaise Metreweli terrorism. And we will see you then. For Kota Hafiz. Love you.